Dumelang. Please welcome to part two of the very continuous video from part one, where we're talking about mental health in our domestic environment. So we're talking about mental health in our everyday lives. What does it look like in the home? What does it look like in our communities? And what does it look like in the world around us in a very much more relatable way? So in part one, just a small recap, we were talking about children and developmental issues, where now we have to track our children's development and be graceful and patient with whatever issues that may occur, and treat our children as deserving of love and patience and understanding, because most of the things that happen are just natural and they occur by nature, and there's no reason to be upset about it. There's no reason to beat yourself up thinking, why is my child not like any other child, or why is my child acting this way? Rather, it's important to debunk the societal expectations of what a child now must be like, because some things, like I said, they're natural. You can't really do anything about it, and you haven't done anything wrong to have a child that has developmental issues or any kind of personality disorders, or just any kind of developmental detriments that you may see in your baby. Just go with them and grow with them and understand the world as they understand it, as it unfolds in their own little minds, and as they become adults who are now um, fully aware of themselves and patient and loving of themselves, and are able to contribute to society in a positive way. Because um, just tapping into part two of this video, we're going to be talking about the same thing, because development happens not only in childhood. It happens childhood stage, it's adolescent stage, it's young adulthood, it's adulthood, and mental health plays its role in those different kinds of developmental stages, right? So we're going to be tapping more into adulthood now, with like what it may look like having these mental health issues, and them not being understood in a way that sort of brings back a way of a way of dealing with them in a way that is positive. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about adulthood and what mental health issues may look like. And sometimes we miss these cues because we're not really enlightened in that way, or we're not really informed in that way, and we don't even have the initiatives to teach ourselves about these issues. Because I believe that, it's maybe 1 in 5 people who have mental health issues. Maybe it may be 4 in 5 people. With the rate that we see nowadays, like mental health issues are like a big thing. So it just might be that much. It just might be that exaggerated. I might be exaggerating, but it might be just that exaggerated. But what I want to talk about today is just how some of these things show themselves in our everyday lives, right? I think one of the things I want to talk about and I want to start with is the relationship that most of us have with our parents. Yeah, that is sure. That's a really difficult topic to even, attempt to talk about right now, but I want to, because sure, relationships between children and parents will just forever be this complex thing that is really misunderstood. It's so easy to like be perplexed about. However, what I want to start by pointing out is the fact that either the child or the parent, these both individuals go through life, and we often have this misconception that maybe growing up, when you grow up, you look at adults and you think, oh my goodness, they have it all together. They have it figured out. They make food when we're hungry. They clothe us when we're cold. They know how to calm us when we're crying. So in a child's mind, an adult or a parent is someone who has it all figured out, and someone who always has to have the answers to everything that might be of concern or might be questionable. So we go through development and we expect parents to literally understand us, to act in such ways that we feel validated and we feel like we're seen and we feel like we're heard and all of those things. And if they don't show up in that way, some parents do, some parents try. And for those who cannot do that, I think we become so hard on them to a point where it just literally results in um, crooked relationships from, between children and the parents, in a way that it's so easy to judge your parents saying, I wish you had done this more and I wish you didn't do this more. And my don't get me wrong, my point of view today is not to say some behaviors from parents are excusable, some are inexcusable, but I want us to take it from a standpoint that parents are people as well. Like I said, mental health is not really like a your everyday topic. It doesn't come easy to your head whenever you are facing issues. It doesn't come easy to your head whenever you like, you have complicated situations. However, if we do think about it, our parents may have gone through life. Historically, we know what we've been through in South Africa, in the world. And back in those days, it wasn't really that important to take care of your mental health as it is now. There hasn't been that need to take care of your mental health as there is now. So back then, it was all about survival. Life was all about surviving. Life was all about keeping your family safe, making sure that everybody is safe, everybody's fed, everybody is taken care of because of just what was happening in the world right at the time. So now that there's less of that, and now there's just more of how do we take care of the mental? How do we break some generational patterns that we see in our parents that we don't want to pass on to our children? The negligence, the overstimulated parents that would easily get angered, would say hurtful words, would just do things that you feel like, but as a parent, why would you do this to me? Like, do you understand that you have to be my mother, that you have to be my father? And I don't get why you're acting this way. For them, I don't, that's also this, well, I don't want to say myth, I don't know what to call it, but this belief amongst older people that mental issues are for, not for Black people in the Black community. Um, you hear that a lot, that mental health issues are just not for Black people. Black people are fine. You just need to get yourself in line, because that's how they grew up. Get yourself in line, be disciplined, do this, just ignore anything else that might take you off track. Any reason for you to be off track, just take it off the way, get it off the way, and just get on with life, because it's hard, it's hectic, it's this and that. And but now that things are a bit like have simmered down a little bit, it's so easy for us to demand that kind of validation from our parents, that I feel a certain way and I don't understand, and they don't understand too, because the truth is they might also have mental health issues and they don't know about that. All they know is that I'm always stressed, and sometimes I get super angry out of nowhere, and I say words to my children and I shout at them, and I just want to, like, maybe some parents still practice corporal punishment. I just want to beat them up and just make them understand, which, hey, I want you to. But when you look at some mental health issues like bipolar, where you have someone who is in between like manic episodes when at one point they are just hyper and happy and jolly, and in another episode they're just heavily depressed and they just can't do anything about it. They just melt into this deep depression. And sometimes there's this anger that comes from nowhere that is so vicious and scary, and they can't deal with it. But the thing for me now is, if they knew um, what was going on within them, it would be easier to deal with themselves so that they can contribute to their children's lives in a better way. To understand that, okay, usually when I'm this angered, it's fine. I need to just take a deep breath or maybe isolate myself a little bit because, I need to get back and be a better parent. But I don't want to reinforce this anger thing on parents, to reinforce it, because now we're parents and some of us are about to become parents, and some of us at some in later stages we are going to be parents. However, I want us to start looking at ourselves and listen. Self diagnosis when it comes to mental health, personally, I don't think that's a good idea. However, it is important that we do that. I'm saying it's not a good idea because, you might come up with a few things. Say maybe you come up with depression and anxiety, and you come up with ADHD, right? And now you use these things that you figured out about yourself as an excuse to keep imposing the behavior that is toxic towards other people. It's like, oh my goodness, why are you so like, why are you like this? Why are you always shouting at us? Why are you always moody? Why are you always so toxic? And then you'll be going around saying, well, I don't know because I got like bipolar and stuff. So what should I do about that? There's nothing I can do about it. But I think the importance of self diagnosis for me is coming from a point where you can identify just a few things or a couple of things that you can relate and see within yourself. Just for example, if you search anxiety disorder and you look at yourself and you think, man, this is what I go through every day. Sometimes I feel like the whole world is ready to swallow me in a second. I just feel like everybody's looking at me. I just feel like I don't want to go outside. I'm so scared of a lot of people. I'm just so scared. I feel like something bad is going to happen to me as soon as I step outside this door. And as soon as I interact with people, I'm just going to die or something. I think it's important that you self diagnose only and only for the reasons that you're going to love yourself more and you're going to be patient with yourself and you're going to understand yourself. Because if we come from a place of love for ourselves and we come from a place of understanding and patience, we're able to let others love us. We're able to let others understand us. We're always able to let others sort of care for us and be patient with us. Because the one thing that causes friction in our relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships, is that when you encounter someone that loves you, it can be a friend, it can be a romantic partner, family member, you often don't understand, why do you love me? Because I'm like this horrible person who goes through these things every day that I don't understand. I cry myself to sleep. And I wake up, I'm crying. I'm just swallowed by these deep feelings that I don't understand. I'm going through a lot and you love me. What do you mean you love me? You know, what is it about me that's there to love? I think that comes from a point of the anger and the confusion you have with the issues that might, you know, be occurrent in your life. It's you not being able to love yourself and you not be able to understand and be patient with yourself, that will now allow someone else to come into your life and love you and care for you and be patient with you. It becomes so hard in our relationships, man, to just accept that you're just loved and that's it. Because you're just like, yeah, but like, yeah, my daddy left me. Why did he leave me? Why do you love me? It's things like that that we need to look back and sort of understand about ourselves, because I feel like self love and self care is way more important. You can go to therapy, and I'm going to stress this: therapy is important. I feel like therapy is important. I haven't been to therapy yet. I haven't been to therapy yet, but in the near future, I wish and I hope and I will make it happen as soon as I'm able, because I believe that it is important. But you can't go to therapy and then not be able to love yourself and understand yourself. You can't go to therapy and throw yourself on a therapist um, um, couch or whatever setting that might be in there, and just like throw yourself on the table and show them who you are and let them diagnose you, let them suggest treatment for you, but you're still like, oh well, my therapist said, and my therapist said, and my therapist said. What do you say? What do you say? Honestly, like, what do you say? And if we now begin to love ourselves this way and we begin to be so patient with ourselves this way, I think the world will be a better place, because then you'll be able to love other people around you. You'll be able to love fully either your children, your family members, your friends, your lovers, and everyone else around you. Because sometimes some people are unable to show love because they feel like, oh, so what? I give you love, but I can't. I can't give you what I don't give myself. But it's true. Like, I can't give you what I don't know. What do you mean I must be kind? I'm not kind to myself. So why must I be kind to you? I don't know how to be kind to myself. This is how we now, I believe, sort of dabble a little bit in our societies and communities and behavior overall, right? We dabble into behavior and we start to understand that people are going through a lot. And what does that mean? We often see quotes online that people are going through a lot, be kind. But what does it mean when someone is literally like thick, mean? Like the mean is like this thick. And you're like, whoa, I cannot with this person. How do you then be kind to such a person who looks at people like and doesn't care? How do you deal with people who are just so unbearable? How do you be kind in those situations? It's then that you understand that, what, personally, everybody's going through things that only they know about and only they can't conquer. So, yeah, somebody might be rude. Don't take it upon yourself, don't make it yours. Just take a moment and think it's them. It's all about who they are, and it's all about how whatever they're reflecting is on the inside as well. However mean they are to me, they're probably as mean to themselves. And that's not the easiest thing. Like, if someone is mean on 100, can you imagine? Can you like take a second and imagine how mean they are to themselves if they're mean to 100? Do you get me? So people are still kind of like trying to figure out things that happen in their heads, the feelings that they have that they can't really get rid of, and the things they wish they could just have explained to them and be made so easily, so that they understand themselves better and they love themselves better. Because the one thing I've realized also about us as humans is that when we have things that we don't really like that are happening in our lives, we want them removed and exchanged for like a better feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I want this depression to go so I can be happy. This is where self-treatment comes from. This is where your alcohol abuse comes from, your substance abuse comes from. This is where your risky behaviors come from, because you want to substitute this heavy and painful feeling with something that is so quick and that will just take your problems away instantly. So we deal with our mental issues a different way. There are people who literally drink alcohol from Monday to Monday because honestly, they cannot live with themselves. They don't know how to live with themselves and they don't know how to confront these things. Yeah, we may look at people who abuse substance as like, kodwa why uzenza kanje mara unezikhuza ngotshwala fethu unezikhuza ngogwayi unezikhuza with substance. But it's just that it's I can't live with myself. I'm scared of myself. I'm scared of the things that happen within me when I'm not under these substances. And you coming and saying, we care for you. Please stop drinking. Please stop smoking this thing. And then how do you then help me to not depend on these things and not need them? Because as soon as I put this thing down, it gets real in my own personal world. How do I deal with that? That's why sibona-ke guys ukuthi siyazi ukuthi ubani bani la somthola khona udakiwe. And uma abantu bese bedakiwe ngoba utshwala nje angeke buze kube into e-right, because abantu bese baphuzile nje bayenza izinto eziphuma eceleni, bakhuluma izinto eziphuma eceleni, bayaxabanisa. When people are drunk, yeah, no, like we know, but just how intensely someone is so dependent on alcohol, you can imagine just how desperate they are to run away from whatever it is that they're masking with this substance. Do you get me? So I'm not saying let's condone the behavior, I'm saying let's understand. So that naye umuntu masebukele le video one day asho ukuthi yazini uyakhuluma le ntombazane ukhuluma iqiniso. So how do I then start? I think start Googling. Let's start educating ourselves about these things. Let's find ways in which we can understand ourselves. Let's find the things that resonate more with us, but only for the reason of getting better, only for the reason of working on ourselves. So that maingani vela ikhala and your baby's having tantrums, you're not gonna have a tantrum as well. That can never work. So that you can breathe and understand, because okay, usually I would just scream at this child, but no, today I'm just gonna breathe. I'm gonna understand what's wrong, my baby. What do you need? You're able to add into your relationships in a positive way when you understand yourself more and when you take time to deal with your mental health. Because like I said before, it's like going to the gym. If you want a specific figure, if you want a specific physical physical body results, you go to the gym and you do these specific exercises and you eat a certain way, and you follow a certain kind of pattern to get there. So if then you're trying to get to a peace of mind, whatever that may look for you, you then live your life like that. You live your life understanding yourself and loving yourself more. And this is how you will understand that you deserve love, man. Love is all around you. But if you don't give it to yourself first, you're not going to be able to receive it from other people. And whenever people are trying to show you love, they're always going to be so annoying. Why what are you doing here? What do you want? You're always going to be scared of affection and like just genuine people being in your life, because you can't be there for yourself as much as they want to be there for you. For you to open the door for people to be with you, because we're talking about community. We always talk about community. We're always going to be talking about community in this channel. But if you're able to open up yourself and let other people come in, it's only when you're able to be there for yourself and to guard yourself and to love yourself and to limit and regulate yourself whenever you're dysregulated. Keep on doing it. Keep on track and keep Googling. I'm going to say, okay, after I Googled about bipolar disorder, I think I may understand what's going on with me. But ever since I've Googled and ever since I've done my research, I've been doing these practices and they're going well for me. But some days are harder, some things are not working out. Let me find other ways. Be obsessed with yourself in that way. Be self absorbed in a positive way, with the attempt or the initiative or with trying to be better for everyone else around you, for yourself. And yeah, so I think for me today, that's it. Just remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to the people around you. And yeah, man, don't forget to love yourself and don't forget to click like on this video, click subscribe, because we want to keep having these conversations and we want to keep having a nice time together, chilling and chatting and all things nice. And yeah, share the video to your loved ones, to your friends, invite people to this community so we can all share our thoughts. And if you want to say anything to me, if you want to say hi, if you want anything, just go ahead to my Instagram at augustfills_08. Make yourself known and I will holler back. Let's grow our community. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.
I be so sick of you niggas, y'all contradicting. I be so bold myself when you come and fuck me. I feel so ordinary, except when you around me. Treat me like corduroy.